Welcome everyone to Your Story, Your Voice, a collaboration between Crystal Stairs and the Wallis Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts. Before we get started, I want to urge everyone to look at the bottom of your screen. There's an icon of a globe, and if you hover over that, it will ask you to select English or Spanish as your preferred language. Our friends at Crystal Stairs have arranged for a Spanish interpreter. And so since that service is available, one needs to select either English or Spanish. My name is Mark Slavkin. I'm Director of Education at the Wallis Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts, that we like to call the Wallis. And you might be wondering what would connect a theater in Beverly Hills with one of LA's leading nonprofit agencies advocating for quality childcare and early education for families across Los Angeles County. And the bridge that connects us is storytelling. Storytelling is probably the most ancient art form of the human experience, but it is indeed an art form. And it's something that we embrace at the Wallis, both in shows that we bring to life on our stages and in many of our educational programs that we offer. We have a range of classes for young people and adults. And at the center of that is empowering people with the skill of storytelling, not just the ability to relay a story, but the confidence to do that with feeling and with passion and in a way that will truly touch your audience. So we've been very fortunate to collaborate with Crystal Stairs over the last month or so to offer storytelling workshops for women who are part of a leadership cadre, gaining skills to be advocates and leaders in their communities, and advocates so that all kids and all families have access to quality childcare. So tonight you're going to hear presentations from some of the participants, and they have found the courage to share these stories. The storytelling isn't new, but so often the most powerful stories we keep to ourselves. We might be inhibited about sharing them with others, or we might worry that no one would really care. But the fact is that the more intimate, the more personal our stories, the more they resonate in a universal way with everyone who's listening. So I want to thank you for joining us, and I know you'll be moved and hopefully inspired by these stories. I want to thank my colleague, Debra Pasquerette, who's done a wonderful job leading these workshops, and our colleague with Crystal Stairs, September Hill, who you'll meet in a moment, who had the great idea to reach out and see if we could make such a collaboration work. And we've been honored to be a part of it. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO of Crystal Stairs, Jackie Majors. Jackie.
Mark, thank you so much. This is such an exciting opportunity. And, I came on a little bit earlier and I was able to hear some of the dynamic speakers. So I'm just so excited to hear you. And if I don't get a chance to say it again, I'm so proud of all of you for your courage. Your voice is so important. I love this partnership, and I just want to thank the Wallis Annenberg Center for Performing Arts, your amazing staff, Mark, Debra. Again, this is the first time I've had an opportunity to meet you, but now it seems like we're meeting everybody virtually, so I feel like I know you. I felt your commitment to our women on the phone, and I just thank you for that. Let me tell you a little bit about Crystal Stairs, and then I just want to tell you what I think about storytelling. First, you all, I am Jackie Majors, the CEO of Crystal Stairs, the proud CEO of Crystal Stairs. I've been with the organization for about 11 years. Nonprofit in Los Angeles that's been serving the community for 40 plus years at this point. Our mission is to improve the lives of families through childcare research and advocacy. But that's just the mission. The work that our staff do every day is really about partnering with families and helping lift them in any way that they need. But quite frankly, our families really lift us and keep us focused for all these years on helping them strengthen their families and really persevere. We serve, again, about 45,000 families. We support South LA, Los Angeles, Lawndale, Gardena, Hawthorne, Compton, Long Beach. And basically, we deliver 6 core programs throughout all of these communities, Resource and Referral is our oldest program, really providing resources to the community, childcare referrals and so forth. Childcare subsidy when families need that extra hand to pay for childcare. We run Head Start and early Head Start programs, a health outreach program, parent support program, which is really dedicated to partnering with parents and lifting them in whatever ways that they need. And lastly, but dear to our hearts today, is our Community Voices program. Our Community Voices program is actually celebrating 15 years. Our Community Voices program was started by Senator Holly J. Mitchell, who was the CEO at the time, and now she is going to be LA County 2nd District Supervisor. We're so excited about her and her passion and her commitment to working families. But Community Voices has been a training program to help mobilize parents and providers and their voice. We can't tell your story as well as you can. And so I'm so grateful to September for really embracing this program and bringing all these incredibly creative opportunities to you. So let me just tell you, your story, your voice has always been this one opportunity for September's curriculum to really help bring out your amazing stories. Like I said, nobody can tell a story or your story like you can. Stories have the power to persuade, move people to action, and quite frankly, stories are so much more memorable than facts or data because they resonate with folks in their heart. I'm sure you all can remember stories that your grandmother, grandfather, your aunts and uncles may have shared with you. My grandmother's 101, and stories she told me as a child still impact me today and really guide how I move forward. So I'm looking forward to hearing your story. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our leader of our Community Voices program. You know her well, September Hill. September, if you can join us.
Yes, thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much. And good evening, everybody. A large part of our Community Voices training is to have parent and provider advocates share their testimony in front of policymakers. So the typical formula is stating your name, what organization you're with, why they've come to speak to the policymaker, define the problem, how it impacts them personally, propose a solution, explain how supporting a particular bill or policy will help solve the problem, and request that the policymaker sign on or vote for the bill. So as I've gotten to know our parents and providers, I've learned more about each of them personally and their life journeys. And there were stories of domestic violence, homelessness, resilience, love, children, family, dreams, and aspirations. And they have rich stories to tell, and they are much more than their current condition or the social services they receive. I wanted to see if we could create a space and a place to explore these richer stories and provide them a platform to share. So I thought of the Wallis and some of the courses Debra Pasquerette teaches in hopes that they would think it was an interesting project. So fortunately for all of us, they did. And it's my pleasure to introduce my co-collaborator, the manager of community engagement at the Wallis, Debra Pasquerette.
Thank you, September. Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I just want to say it has been my complete honor to spend the last, I was just talking to, I almost said cast. I'm used to working in the theater, so I am going to call you a cast tonight. You're an incredible cast of storytellers. We were talking to the cast beforehand, and I was saying that I so loved the last month of Mondays, because every Monday night for the last month, this incredible group of women and I came together in our Zoom boxes, and we started to share and to really talk about stories and talk about memories and put all of that into these delicious, delicious stories that you will hear tonight. So I want everyone to just think of this as an early Thanksgiving present, a beautiful gift of gratitude, of words, of beautiful words, of images, of people's journeys, their hopes, their dreams, their desires. You're going to hear something of all of those things tonight. from each of these storytellers. At the end of the performances, we will have a Q&A session with the entire group of storytellers. So please don't leave right away. Stay there. And we'll come back on and be able to have a Q&A with the audience. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight and spending some time with us. And I want to introduce your story, your voice, and introduce our first storyteller, Pamela.
Good evening. I'm Pamela Cotton Roberts. My piece is named Women of Distinction. I am a bowl of salad. Like a bowl filled with many vegetables in a salad, I am a bowl mixed with several women I have admired through my journey called life. I admire women from afar and up close. Here's my story concerning women of distinction. First, I am my mother's daughter. My mother was my first love. She loved me unconditionally. She taught me to love what I do, love others, and most importantly, to love myself. She believed in talking as a choice of discipline. She worked in a bank in our neighborhood community. She taught many how to budget and to save. She was tall and beautiful. She was very stylish. She would draw her own women of style. I really admired my mother. She was a woman of few words, but taught many people by the way she carried herself. I wished I could exemplify the woman she was. I am Betty Jean Cotton. I am love. Next, I am Jackie Kennedy Oasis. My mother kept a scrapbook of Jackie Kennedy Oasis. I always wondered why. I read through my mother's scrapbook daily. And then as I got older, I realized why Jackie Kennedy Oasis was one of her favorite role models. Jackie Kennedy Oasis practiced with her children from being in a public image. She protected them. Her children learned to work like ordinary children. They learned to value hard work. Her children had to get up each morning and make their beds. They had to do house chores, just as my mother raised her children. Jackie Kennedy Oasis taught her children, as my mother taught her children, the concept of self-preservation. I am self-preservation. I am my maternal grandmother, Willa Mae Jackson. She was a peacemaker. She was the peacemaker of our family. Whenever the family was in an uproar, my grandmother didn't raise her voice. I remember her speaking in a soft monotonous voice, enough, and the room would be silent. She was still the water wherever she encountered violence. She was peaceful. I think of myself serene with a touch of peace. I am peace. I am my paternal grandmother, Willa Mae Cotton. As you notice, both of my grandmother's names were Willa Mae. Willa Mae Cotton was very creative in making items. She made fancy quilts and hats. She would sew dresses and slacks and decors around the house. She was very detailed about her projects. Ladies would come to her house to purchase her items. I do not make hats or quilts, but I do sew my own design dresses and outfits. I am currently making pajamas for my family for Christmas. I am creative. I am powerful. I work with teams of women. I am in many organizations. I have a host of women that are my family and friends. I consider myself powerful, but wow, put myself in a cluster of powerful women like Annabella, September Hill, Debra Pasquerette, Judith Terrell, Aisha Foster, Maricelis Rosellas, Lorraine Cantley, Keisha Dixon, Myris Drummer, Tiffany McCann, Trinity McCann, and Crystal Thompson, I become more powerful. I am powerful. I am a child of God. When Moses asked who God was in the book of Genesis, God said, I am who I am. Because I was created in his image, I am who I am. I am like a bowl of salad. I am love. I am self-preservation. I am peace. I am creative. I am powerful. Combined and tossed with all the women of distinction. That's it. Now, I would like to introduce to you Marisol Rosales.
Good afternoon. My piece is titled I Am. I am a woman. I am a Chicana. I am phenomenal. I am educated. I am from the Mendes lineage from Spain, a rich country in culture and history. I am from here and there. I am from the states of Colima, Michoacan, and South Central LA. I am from the house on Mango Street where a little Mexican girl can relate so freely. I am from celebrations and unity. I am from the resilient and gritty men and women before me. I am smart and resourceful. I am from Catholic faith and a child of God. I am from the city of angels, from taco stands in every corner and Mexican music blasting in the streets, from my immigrant parents and the struggle of growing up in America with Mexican roots. Now, where am I going? Where am I going? I am going to take the steps necessary to become a doctor. I am going to strive to build some generational wealth. I am going to take care of my mother. I am going to help my children attain their full potential. I am going to keep being an activist and leader in my community. I am going to keep working on my marriage and communication skills. I am going to keep being an advocate for children and families until the end of my time. I am going to travel the world as a reward for my hard work. And next, I'll present to you Keisha.
Good evening. My name is Keisha Dixon, and the title of this piece is Where Are You Going? You ask, where am I going? I'm going to the top. I'm showing my nieces, my nephews, my babies, and the world what can be done when you count out a champion. I'm showing my babies they are from greatness. I know dreaming big is scary, but forget it. I'm going to show up and show out. I ain't got nothing to lose. I already lost the job that I love and lost custody of my kids. I've been homeless, lied on, cheated, and mistreated. So why not dream big and live my best life? Good thing I learned while I was at the bottom. Anyone ever been at the bottom a time or two, 3 or 4? The thing I learned while I was at the bottom helped me to set my sights on something better, something bigger than me. People that join the military don't just join for themselves. We volunteer and sacrifice our lives for our fellow man. And the government still can't get it right. I'm not surprised. It took 400 years to get it right and end slavery. The military has only been around for 245 years. And family law, it's in its infancy and at a mere 110 years old. I used to tell myself, I dream too big. But what's wrong with that? What's wrong with wanting to attend Howard University for my master's in social work? What's wrong with wanting to be an executive producer for my Lifetime movie? What's wrong with wanting to become a doula? Being a doula takes me full circle in life. Back when I was 13, I wanted to become an obstetrician. And I told myself, when I retire, I plan to sit back, and watch my plants grow. That dream has evolved from watching houseplants grow, grew into a community-supported farm with fruits and vegetables and honey and eggs to supply food deserts, low-income areas, and supply mom and pop restaurants and markets in their first year to help them see a profit. On this journey, I realized the conflicts in my life created a wall of fear, doubt, guilt, blame, and shame. I learned no matter what it looks like, continue to dream big. Don't stop making plans for your life and play an active role in your life. You can turn that fear, doubt, guilt, blame, and shame into power. A power to get you where you are going. Next is Maria. Maria, take it away.
Gracias, Aisha. Gracias. Buenas noches. Mi nombre es María Acosta. Mi historia es de dónde vengo y hacia dónde voy. Soy hija de inmigrantes y llegué a este país buscando la oportunidad de una mejor vida. Me casé muy joven, a los 17 años. Desde niña mi anhelo era estudiar y hacer una carrera, pero no se me dio la oportunidad. El destino me dio la oportunidad o la profesión de cuidar niños y de ayudarles en su educación. Tengo 5 hijas a las que me dediqué a apoyarles a estudiar. Todos los días las llevaba y las recogía de la escuela. Al igual que a sus amiguitas y sus compañeras, les gustaba venir a la casa a comer y quedarse a dormir. Y cuando sus papás venían a recogerlas, no se querían ir. Y así fue como empecé a cuidar niños y en 1991 tramité la licencia de childcare, así que ya tengo 30 años de experiencia cuidándolos con mucho amor y dedicación. Tengo 8 nietos que también a ellos cuidé. Ahora voy con mucho entusiasmo hacia adelante. Yo voy por mis sueños de crecer más, seguir aprendiendo de la vida. He experimentado el paso del tiempo, pero no dejo de aprender cada día. Mi vida está llena de gratitud, amor, alegría, esperanza y fe en Dios, deseando que no me falte lo necesario y tener la posibilidad de seguir compartiendo con otras personas que necesiten. Quiero también seguir cuidando a mi mamá y yo voy a viajar por el mundo, si Dios me lo permite, y seguir adelante trabajando. Esta es mi historia. Muchas gracias. Ahora les quiero presentar con mucho gusto a Aisha.
My name is Aisha Foster, and my piece for today is I Remember Past and Future. I remember when I was a little kid asking my mom, can I go outside and play with my friends? I remember sleepovers, slumber parties. I remember waking up on Saturday mornings and watching cartoons. I remember when the donut trucks used to come down our blocks as we stood in front to buy donuts and candy just like the ice cream truck. I remember family game nights. I remember grocery shopping with my mom and picking out my favorite cereals. I remember having to come in the house before the street lights came on. I remember graduating from elementary, middle school, and high school. I remember when there were pagers and we had to page people with a number. I remember when we were able to go outside and play Mother May I, Red Light, Green Light, and Double Dutch. But now there's internet, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I remember when we had no cell phones, nothing to distract us. Now we have all those things that keep our mind occupied and always on the go. But the one thing I remember the most that I will always treasure is the loss of my oldest brother and sister. Now all I have of them is memories. P.S. I remember. Now I like to pass it to Judith.
Good evening. My name is Judith Terrell, and my piece is called The Journey. My family migrated to the U.S. from the beautiful island of Jamaica in the late 60s, early 70s in pursuit of a better life. While there were many challenges living in a different country and not understanding the language or the culture, we soon overcame. Things were a lot different then. I attended middle school and high school in South Los Angeles. After high school, I worked and attended college. I got married, had a beautiful baby girl, and built a career as a human resource manager. Now let's fast forward to 2002. It was about 9 p.m. on April 25th while driving home from work. I heard gunshots, and to my surprise, I was hit by one of the bullets. By the grace of God, I was able to drive myself home, where my husband called for help. I was rushed to Martin Luther King Hospital, where I underwent surgery. The next morning, I woke up with 42 stitches down the center of my body. That experience changed my life. It taught me not to take anything for granted, that tomorrow is not promised, that life is short, not go ahead and do what is right. I should live every day as to its very fullest, as though it were my last. Then 3 years later, I lost my job on May 4th, 2005. I decided at that time that I wanted to start my own business, something I've always wanted to do for a very long time. In July of that year, my daughter suggested that I started a family childcare. My granddaughter at that time was a year old. I laughed at her because it's not something that I ever thought I wanted to do. I did the research, contacted Community Care Licensing, and attended their required orientation and became a licensed childcare provider on September 14th of 2005. I must say, this has been the most rewarding career I've had. After which I engaged myself in the trainings and workshops offered by Crystal Stairs to better understand how children developed. Children are fascinating creatures. As you get to understand them and observe them, my desire to learn more led me to return to college and finish my education. This past June, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in human development. About 3 years ago, I was invited by September Hill to attend a community voice meeting. Through these meetings, I was educated on the state budget process, how to get involved, and how to tell my story and those of the families I serve. I felt empowered to live in my purpose by helping others, by using my voice to advocate on behalf of those that are in need. I am going to continue to advocate for children and families in my community, fighting for a better community by going on legislative visits and telling our stories so that the legislators understand the need of the communities that they serve. I am going to engage more families through community voices so they can make a difference by telling their individual stories. The journey will continue because there is much work to be done for the families, the children. Homelessness is in our community, as well as all the different isms that we are faced with each and every day. Thank you. I'd like to introduce to you right now, Miss LaRae.
My name is LaRae Cantley, and I'm presenting Mosaic Literature. My writing has changed my life forever, capturing memories and creating. Where am I going? into collaborative hearts of high vibrations. I remember this really unsure time in life, living in Compton on Elm Street. My brother, who is no longer here with us in the physical, but still my best friend, my loving mother and father who loves me the best they can, my sister who uniquely inspires me to be my best self. The time, the walk, the kitchen, the chair, the table, the burgers, the knife, the blood, the voice, the silence. I am from 1982, Queen of Angels in Hollywood, to the City of Angels graduating class of 2000, from Vaseline, barrettes, and government cheese, from controversial celebrations with Jehovah's Witnesses to holidays singing classic Christian hymns. I know it was the blood. I know it was the blood for me. One day when I was lost, he died upon the cross, and I know it was blood for me. The blood, the voice, the silence. On the shoulders of my ancestors, commanding that I stand for freedom wherever words can reach, for the expansion of mental, physical, and spiritual territory obtained by me and transferred to posterity. Where am I going? Dare to follow. To universal connections, highways, skyways, galaxies, beyond my imagination to fulfill dreams and passions. Continuing in extraordinary adventures full of color, sound, textures, taste, scent, all to be savored. Land of optimism, wondrous and familiar, refurbished, pristine matter. Through darkness, aligned with the light, to eternity is my right. My writing has destined me to manifest and express greatness. Now I speak mosaic literature. My name is Lorraine Cantley, your social justice activist. And now let's take this time to invite all of our storytellers to come back and join us.
Okay, I want to invite the audience to share a rousing round of applause, of virtual applause for our incredible storytellers. Literally, people are saying applause, applause, applause. So yes, we're hearing it and feeling it. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I wanted to take just a few minutes and open up the floor to questions from our audience to talk to the storytellers about either their stories or about the process that we used in our class over the last few weeks, and also just to invite the storytellers to talk a little bit about what we did. So I will start off by just saying, do any of you want to start off by talking about just sort of how you ended up coming to the story that you shared tonight from our class?
Well, I decided that I would do a mix of all of the different topics that we had written about in class. We did a piece called I Am, and several other pieces that we've done each week, and then writings that we've done in class. I just kind of combined it all together because it just kind of took me to where I'm going, what my journey is. That's how I came to that.
Thank you, Judith. Thank you, Judith. Do any of you want to talk about, do you feel that even though we've all never actually met in person? I mean, many of you have met each other before, but we have never been in the same room before. But I know that I felt this incredible connection to all the women that were in the class. And I just wanted to know how you all felt about that, like we were only together for 3 weeks, but I know at the end of last week, we were all pretty sad about leaving, and we kind of created this incredible space to be able to share our stories. Does anybody want to talk about that?
Well, I personally, I want to include everyone because I've gained a lot in listening to the stories. We wrote weekly, 2 or 3 times a week, and that's why I said we are powerful. My research is pertaining of women and power and leadership. And that was my focus when I got into this class and saw that the sky was the limit. But as I heard the stories of each of these ladies and the stories, it was just amazing. And I am so glad that I had the opportunity to meet each and every one of the ladies on this panel today. It was very inspirational, and that's why they're included in my writing. And that's why I chose that one, because I love this class, and we should have more classes like this throughout, our lives, our journey in our lives.
Thank you, Pamela. Anyone else want to share about that? I also don't want to put you guys on the spot, or any other just general comments about the class?
I feel like we all shared a little bit about ourselves, and we were vulnerable with each other, and that's what made it great. We were able to express ourselves freely, and there was no judgment from day one, and we set those standards for ourselves, and it was just great having time. It's hard to set time apart to write, so whenever I get the chance, I love to do that.
And I want to say, I appreciate all of you doing all those assignments I gave you, because I gave you guys a lot of assignments. Judith, you're laughing. Wasn't too many assignments, but I think the most wonderful thing is many of you combined the assignments at the end to put, Judith, you did, and also Lorraine, you put a lot of them together as well. And so I thought that was really, really incredible that you guys did that. And everybody, all of the stories, I wish we still had more time, because there are so many. If I'm speaking to the audience now, if you could have heard every single one of the pieces that they wrote, some that we just wrote in class, like in an instant writing exercise, they were so powerful and so beautiful. And so I really, really appreciate you guys just jumping in, just trusting me, just, grabbing your pen and pencil or paper, whatever, and just going for it. And you didn't have any fear, or if you did, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel the fear. You guys just took it and went with it, and it was fantastic. So Aisha, I know that you talked a little bit last week about writing. This is like one of the first times that you've really done a lot of writing.
I have not done homework in a very long time. And this homework that you gave us every Monday for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, this was the funnest ever. I didn't realize I was a writer, that I could write and share so many different things about my life journey until I put that pen on that paper. And once I started writing, everything just came so naturally. I just flowed on. I couldn't stop. I didn't want to stop, but I know I had to. All I know is that I gained a bunch of great sisters, powerful ladies. Debra, you're the best teacher.
Oh,
September, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I hope we can continue that. Maybe we can just collab again sometime in the near future.
Thank you, Aisha. And I want to definitely say that you are a writer. You are not, you are definitely a writer. And I think you should keep writing and not stop writing, because now you won't have a homework assignment. No one's going to stop you of how long it has to be. You can just keep on writing. We have a couple of questions in the Q&A. Let me read these out for you. So one of the questions is to all the ladies: how do you plan to use what you've learned to help develop and impact others? In the story, I'm assuming they're meaning from like the stories that you've written about, or the things that you've learned in kind of reflection on yourselves in the writing.
Well, of course, me personally, I'm going to continue to do my research. My research, I said, was women in empowerment and leadership. And I focused from eras of, you know, the baby boomers to baby Z. And now that it's going on and on, we have a new generation. So the empowerment is to gain from each other, the strength of pulling together one another. This class, there were stories. I mean, we actually had to have tissues because it was so much tribulation and trial that each one of us has gone through in our own way. So we were able to express ourselves in each way. And when we're talking about women, we all come in different styles, but we come a long way. We come from an era where women didn't even have the opportunity to vote. And now here we are with our daughters who are voting. We come from an era where women didn't even have their own credit card. They had to use their husband's credit card. So now we have our own establishment. So the new norm is not the norm we're accustomed to. I'm a baby boomer, not a norm that I'm accustomed to, but I'm watching my children grow and they're teaching me. So we teach each other. And as far as being women, we still have a ways to go, but to depend on each other and to lean on each other is such a wonderful aspect to be in. So these women here that we met just 3 weeks, including tonight, because I didn't hear this ending of the stories until tonight when we collaborated our stories to you tonight. It's just fabulous to be in a house of women, powerful, strong, reserved women that come through struggle, and look at them now, how beautiful they are. It's an honor. So that's where we're going to go. We're not going to end it because this is our things, and we're publishing books and we're doing a whole lot of things. So the sky's the limit for us. It really is.
Thank you, Pamela. There's a question in here, and I think this one will go to Lorraine. I want to know more about mosaic literature.
So mosaic literature came about from all of the homeworks that Debra had assigned to us. And although we had the opportunity to share each homework separately, when we were preparing for this speaking opportunity, she asked which one would we want to share. And I had a few pieces that were very, very triggering. And so I took a piece of that and I just used some of that to accentuate mosaic literature. When I talked about the time and the walk and the chair and the table. If you heard some of the ladies, you heard them also talk about what they remember and where they're going and what they're from. So it was all those collaborative pieces that came together and turned into that. That's what mosaic literature is.
Great,
I
thank you.
really appreciate the space for creativity that Debra was like, okay, you don't know what you're doing, but just send it to me in time.
If you trust me, I trust you. That's the way it works, right? You guys trusted me from the minute I don't know if you did. It seemed like you did. You acted like you did. You acted as if, and then it was, right? So you trusted me and I trusted you guys that you would come through with just an amazing, amazing sharing. And that definitely happened. I just wish we had time to do every single one of your stories because they were so incredible. Let me see who we didn't talk to yet. Maria, did you want to say anything about the class and about being in the class?
Sí, pues yo solo quiero agradecerle a September por la invitación y a usted, la maestra, por habernos ayudado a empoderarnos más y a revivir nuestra historia. Yo reviví mi niñez y creo que me ayudó mucho porque soy muy tímida y a seguir adelante, a abrir mi corazón, a ayudar a las personas que me necesitan. Aquí estoy con mi corazón abierto para ayudarles y aprendí de todas mis compañeras hermosas, de sus historias que me hicieron valorar más la vida, el tiempo. Y pues aprendí mucho, me empoderé mucho y se me hizo muy, muy hermosa lo que aprendí. Gracias a usted, Debra.
Thank you, Maria.
compañeras, a mis compañeras. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Keisha, I'm going to pick on you for a second. She's like, I'm not really here. Any feedback from you, Keisha? You had such a strong voice and such a really powerful voice. I loved hearing the stories about you in the military and about the perspective of women in the military. It was just so incredible to hear your stories. And I just wanted to give you a chance to talk about that for a moment.
Well, thank you for giving me the opportunity and for the group for being a listening ear and letting me get stuff off of my chest. Because you created a safe environment where we can just share freely and let it loose, let it all go. And I thank you and I appreciate that opportunity, because a lot of times, like you said, women in the military, our voices aren't heard too often, not until someone's hurt or something worse happens.
Mm-hmm.
But this is an opportunity for people to know that there's not a cookie cutter, there's not a stereotype of women who serve in the military. We're human. We have emotions and feelings just like everyone else. So it's just providing a safe place. And that's what you provided. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Keisha. Judith, I want to bring Judith into the picture. Judith was like, what? See, I saw you over there. So Judith was always talking about amazing food from her past and was making us all hungry and talking about coming. And Judith, I just want to thank you for just inviting us into your history. And you just had such great details and comments about your family and about their immigration here and everything. And so I just wanted to thank you for that. And if you have any comments.
No, I commented earlier. I'm okay.
You're okay? All right. Just giving you a chance. And
No,
Marisol, I don't think I picked on Marisol yet. I'm not picking on you. Do you feel like I'm picking on you? So Marisol, I just want to tell you that every single person had such an amazing writing journey, I think, that we found in each week. And Marisol, I was just so touched by your commitment to what you're doing and your commitment on every level of your life to go to the next step. And I just thought that you just beautifully shared that with us in your piece tonight. And I want to thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. Like I said, you allowed that, that space for us to be able to share that story. And yeah, I just loved it.
Great. And Lorraine is my, poor Lorraine, every time, Lorraine was my co-commenter in the class. Lorraine was wonderful in giving comments to everybody about their stories. And so we kind of had without even saying it, I knew Lorraine would be there too. I will miss being in my other classes, Lorraine, without having you there to say, Lorraine, and knowing that you would come off and say a beautiful comment to one of your colleagues. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. So thank you. Well, I think that we got all of the questions that were here. I want to thank everybody who Zoomed in. I guess we don't say tune in. We Zoomed in to see us tonight and listen to our stories. And I want to thank all of you. And I want to once again thank Crystal Stairs and September, my colleague, who I've now known for many, not many, but several, going on many September years. And I'm just so happy that you asked us to be a part of this and that it worked out. I want to thank my colleague, Mark Slavkin, for giving me the opportunity and trusting and being open to let me teach and be in different areas and work with all amazing people all around Los Angeles. And I just want to finally just thank all of you one more time. And my hope for you is that you keep writing. I know some of you write already. Those of you that are already writing, keep writing. Those of you that just started, Aisha, get a journal, get writing in it. All the rest of you, please do. And please let me know. Look at Aisha. Applause to Aisha. She's got her journal ready. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I love it. So I will hopefully see you all in person one day, and if not, on Zoom again sometime soon. And September, I'll connect to you and to our incredible audience. Thank you for sharing a Monday night with us. And I really wish all of you an incredible, blessed Thanksgiving and have a great evening. Thank you.